पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः Namaste all of you. Today is a very auspicious day all over India. We celebrate a festival called Deepavali, Festival of Lamps. I wish you, all of my friends, let the Lord shower the blessings to achieve our goals, to remove all our obstacles in the spiritual pursuits and also in our material pursuits. Let the Lord always be with us in each and every moment. So, we are in the last phase of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, third chapter, first verse. Here, Lord Death, Yama, gives an example. A banyan tree. A banyan tree means a fig tree. Banyan tree is representing the whole material world here. Lord Death presents this banyan tree as an example of the material world. People are celebrating Deepavali, so there will be some crackers in between our class. No problem. Okay? It's not Hamas or Israel bombing. So, banyan tree has certain features to be understood properly. What are the features? I will read the verse first. We are continuing. Last class also we were discussing the same verse. We will see what are the features because it's a very important sloka, very important verse, which is also told by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, first verse. The same verse in different words. I will read the verse and I will give you the explanation. Urdhamoolamabhakshakaha Yeshaha Ashvattaha Sanatanaha Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma Tadeva Amritam Uchyate. Urdhvamulam Avakshakaha. A tree which has roots in their top, where the roots are growing upwards, and avakshakaha, where the branches are there in the downward. See, I already mentioned you, banyan tree has roots from it, branches, it will come down towards the earth once it get matured. The material world is an apparent reality. The whole world, the attractive men, attractive woman, birds, water, fire, houses, cities, beaches, ornaments, dresses, adventures with friends. All these things, when I say material world means, you should include everything, including your lover, including your friends and family members, the experiences which you go through in your life, the experiences which you got bitter, which made you bitter, the experiences which was more sweet. Everything should be counted when I say one single word, material world or samsara. It includes everything. This samsara, this material world, is an apparent reality, superimposition on a real thing. It appears to be real when you get into an inquiry about what you see in front. It will resolve into the reality. The whole material world is just a superimposition on a real thing. The real thing is not known, or I am not informed by my parents or my academical teachers where I studied school or university. They didn't talk about the reality about this entire world. They just took which branch you took to study. They give some classes on that. They didn't talk about the reality, correct? So, the entire material world is called samsara in Sanskrit. All our experiences, all our body pleasures, all our food, all living beings, everything I experience with my senses, with my eyes, with my ears, with my nose, with my tongue, with my skin, everything should be included in samsara. This samsara, this material world, is represented by the Lord Death while teaching Nachiketas about the reality in a banyan tree, a fig tree. Any example, when we quote, it should be familiar for the listener. You cannot bring a unique example for the listener. Example should be very much familiar. A banyan tree, a fig tree is very much familiar. All around the world, in every country, you may see. Even if you don't see something, if you have a mobile phone, you search in the Google, it will come. Because Arctic aurora, I never see. I never heard about that up to my middle age. Now I got an information from somebody. Arctic aurora in Norway. I, I go and search in Google. That's why mobile phones are useful. I know what is Arctic aurora now. Similarly, if you don't know banyan tree, you have to search in the Google and see what is banyan tree. The features are something different from other plants. The roots will come towards earth from the branches. In the younger days, we used to cling on them and we will, just like a swing, we will go front and back. Very strong the roots are. And from the roots, again, the branches, the main stem and the trees and the leaves and the branches will come. Why Lord Death told that this material world is just like banyan tree? First line we are analyzing. After that, we will go to the second line. The more we indulge in the material world, for example, I am fond of coffee. If you take daily coffee, it will become a habit to you. If you take a cigar, it will become a habit for you. If you drink alcohol daily, it will become a habit. Neither coffee nor cigarette, not either alcohol don't have the capacity to attract you. We know that because they are inert. They don't have the capacity to attract you. Please take me, like a fruit seller in the street. Apples, they don't ask you, take me, I'm cigarette. It will be very beautiful. It will be very good for you. They don't do. Because they are inert. Inert things doesn't have the capacity to attract anything in the world. But it's my defect. It's my weakness that I see some pleasure while using a material thing in my life. It can be woman, it can be man, it can be cigarette, it can be alcohol, it can be ornament, it can be sari, it can be new car, anything. It's my weakness. It's my defect. My mind get identified by this thing. I may attracted through one cinema. In that scene, the hero will be smoking a cigarette to post that he's almighty. Then I feel some fantasy on that. I should also pose with a cigarette. I start like this only in my life. So anything in this material world does not have the capacity to attract anybody in this world. No capacity to attract anybody in the world. Alcohol never calls you to take me. Please take me so that you can be in heaven. It's our defect. It's our weakness. My mind have a tendency to take it because I get some pleasure. Now I am connecting with the banyan tree. The more you get contact with a material thing, the more you connect with a material thing, the impressions will be there inside the mind. After using certain things of the material world, you keep a carbon copy inside your mind. Leftover impressions. These impressions will make you to take again and again after a period of time. If you puff a cigarette, after 1 or 2 days, again you feel to take a puff through a cigarette. If you enjoy a sweet, after a few days when you see that same thing, you feel to take that. Because the experience which is already existing in your mind in the form of impressions. You already have an experience of using that and you have an impression. So the banyan tree grows like that. You use something from the material world, and the impressions are being left out inside your mind. This is the root which grows from the branches, which grow from the branches. The more you take certain things from this material world, each and every leaves represents your needs and you say the things which are in this material world. A tree, in a tree, there will be different lot of leaves in different branches. Each and every leaf represents material things in this material world. So in our life, when we enjoy this material world, that enjoyment will give an impression which will be kept under custody inside the mind, inside in the mind. And again, when you see that thing, this temptation will comes out. So enjoying a material thing is represented by the branches. When you enjoy a thing, there will be some impressions which you keep as a carbon copy inside your mind. That is the root. The roots are there now. From the branch, you will get an impression, an experience. That impressions are kept inside the mind. This is the root. So from the branch, there will be impression inside the mind. These impressions will again pops up when you see the same thing in your life. From this root, again the branches will come. So the more you enjoy this material world, more impressions are being saved inside the mind. If you are an experienced hunter, you go through different experiences in terms of food, in terms of cars, in terms of woman, anything. All these things are being meant for you. You have senses, you have good health, you can enjoy. Nobody is going to control you. On that time, you have to understand this verse, the more you enjoy this material world, the more impressions will be taken inside to our mind. Every experience will keep a carbon copy inside your mind. You know what is the taste of a coffee. Cappuccino is there. Even very special coffee is available everywhere in an airport, in some hotels. Each and every coffee will keep an impression inside your mind. So there will be a temptation. You will have a fantasy when you see a coffee shop. This is being told by this first verse by Lord that the more you enjoy, more there are chances to come again and again to this material world. We cannot avoid our birth again and again, because as long as our impressions are there inside our mind, according to the impressions, whatever we are having, already before few verses, Lord Death mentioned in another factor for the cause of rebirth. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. Yonimanye prabadhyante, sthanumanye prabadhyante. Sharirattvaya dehinaha, yatha karma, yatha shrutam. According to our karma, according to our impressions which are there inside our mind, to enjoy that type of things, we will take a particular body again and again. From the root, by enjoying these material things, the branches are again born. The impressions are the root cause for the enjoyment. Without having the impression to enjoy something, you will not enjoy this world. There should be something inside the mind to enjoy. I want this, that desire. That's called it is impressions. This is the root. Once you enjoy something, that's a branch. From the branch, the carbon copy will become the root. Thus, a circle is formed now. The more you enjoy, the more chances to have birth in this samsara, in this universe, according to one's own interests, according to one's own karma, the actions, according to one's own impressions, all will meet together. When the conditions are met, according to that, we will take a birth. Thus, this samsara vriksha will continue. Birth, again we will enjoy certain things, then die. Again rebirth, again we will enjoy certain things according to our mindset. Again die, again we'll have a birth. So this is called samsara vriksham. From the root, branches are born. From the branches, roots are again sprouted. Then they will come to the earth. Again the branches are there. So there is a circle. So fig tree is represented in the form of circle. Samsara vriksham. Samsara means directly you can translate material world. Bautika prapancham. That world which you give a lot of pleasures, body pleasures, mountains, trees, people, family members, friends, all these things you include in your samsara vriksham. So the first point which I told you is, this is a superimposition on the reality. Whatever you see, it never existed at any point of time. Whether your body, whether your father, whether your mother, whether any animals, or these five elements, they never existed at any point of time. They just seemingly appearing in front of you. They are not there at all. Creation is an illusion. You write this sentence inside your mind. Creation is an illusion like cinema, movie. Creation never existed at any point of time, according to Lord Yama's words, Lord Death's words. And this is the truth. Our body never existed at any point of time. It seems to be appearing just like a pot. Pot never existed apart from the clay. The reality of the pot is clay. Similarly, the reality of the body is Brahman. The reality of the creation is Brahman. When you don't know what is Brahman, the self, you take granted and this creation will become real for ordinary people. Creation is real for all the people. One who don't study this Shastra, this text, Upanishads. For all the people, the creation is real. Of course, for us also. That's why when we are hungry, we take something and eat. Because body is real, hunger is real, the food is also real. Once you know the reality, then you will know that body is unreal. Unreal means it's not like rabbit's horn. I told you, mithya. There is no categorical analysis for mithya. Pot, whether it exists or not. This question cannot be answered completely. If you say pot never existed at any point of time, then water, in which water is being holded? Water is being holded by the pot, not by the clay. When you drink completely pot, why? You were dealing with the pot entire life. You kept the water inside the pot. Whenever there is a need, you take the pot and fetch some water and keep there in your house. You never dealt with the clay. You dealt with the pot. So how can you deny there is no pot at all? Pot was existing because the root cause of the pot is being clay. But we cannot completely deny the pot is not existing at all. That's why Shankara introduced the word mithya. Mithya never existed at any point of time, but we cannot categorically analyze or we cannot completely deny in the present tense. The entire creation is illusion. Fine. But you cannot deny that recreation completely. Your body is there, mobile is there, family is there, wife is there, children are there. You cannot completely deny when I say creation is an illusion. That's called mithya. Reality and unreality goes together as long as you don't know completely by discrimination. Once you know the reality, you discriminate. From the reality, the unreality is something which never existed. Even though it appears to be, it never existed at any point of time. The body seems to be appearing in this world, but when you have the capacity to analyze under a traditional teacher whether I exist or not, who am I? If you come to know the reality about you, then you know that body is an apparent reality, an illusion. Because of something existing and I don't know about that thing, I don't have any information about what is existing real in real. I superimpose the body on this reality. The material world, really speaking, there is no attraction in this material world. It's our fantasy. I told you, inert things doesn't have the capacity. Inert thing doesn't have the capacity to attract anybody in this world. A dress seems to be attractive only for you, not for everybody in this world. A piece of meat is very much attractive for a person who is indulged on that. Not for everybody, not for me or not for you. Because inert thing doesn't have the capacity to attract the entire world or people. Similarly, material world doesn't have the capacity to attract anybody in this world. It's my weakness, my defect due to ignorance of not knowing the reality. Where the defects and ignorance come from? Another question. Defects can be converted into confusions. The more we are confused, more defects we have. More we are ignorant about a particular thing, more confusions arises. More confusions, more defects in my behavior, in my interaction towards the material world, everything. Once you know the reality, there is no confusion. There is only decision. This is right, this is wrong. More you don't know about the reality, more confusions are there in life. Should I marry? Should I don't? Should I not to marry? Am going to be enjoying this world after marriage? We don't have the total idea about what I should do in my life. The goal is not clear. Once your goal is clear, you have only decision. You don't have any confusions. Should I buy a car or not to buy a car? Should I build a house or not to build a house? Should I sit here or to sit somewhere? All these things arises from the confusions. Confusions are born out of ignorance. The more confusions you have options in your life, the more options your goal is not set, your goal is not clear. When your goal is set, there is no options, there is only decision. When we don't know the reality, we have lot of things to enjoy in this material world because my five senses are in 100% full measure. I have a total vision, so I want attractive things to see in my life, which are tempting. I want to listen songs. I want to taste each and every food, spicy, sour, bitter, sweetness, everything. I want to touch everything so that my skin have total capacity to enjoy everybody's touching. And I can touch something and I want to be happy. I can smell everything, so I want to know the fragrance and the aroma of a dish. The more we are indulged in the material world, why? Because we don't know the reality. We are behind the material things in the world, even though it is an illusion. It seems to be attractive due to not knowing the reality. When we know the reality, we know that world doesn't have the capacity to attract me. I can live without depending on any material thing in the world because I am immortal. We already studied about the nature of a human being. More we are not known, more we are not informed, we will go behind different material things because material world is so much attractive for an ordinary person. We are not talking about ordinary people. We are talking about the people who have studied this Upanishad. For them, material world is a superimposition on a real thing. That real thing is the cause for this effect, what we call this samsara. From the from the effect, we should find out the cause. This vriksham, this tree, this material world have its root in the Brahman. That Brahman is the source for the entire attraction of the material world. If the Brahman is missing, there is no attraction, there is no creation, there is no material world. Anything in this world seems to be attractive because of the presence of the Brahman. Brahman is the root cause for this entire material world. Material world doesn't have the attraction. Material world doesn't have the capacity to make you happy. The Brahman is the root cause for the happiness of anything when you suggest or anything when you take in your life. Because it is Brahman. Brahman have the capacity to make you happy. The presence of Brahman and each and everything in this material world make you or give you some happiness. So, from the effect in Sanskrit, effect is called karyam. From the karyam, from if our person to young, further thinking person, I am not a donkey, I am not a monkey, I am not a fish, I am a human being. I have the capacity to think further what is right in front of me. That is why I inquire about the stars. I inquire about the solar system. I inquire about a good shelter. I inquire about a good footwear. I inquire about my good clothes. I have further thinking capacity. If you have this capacity, you will think what is right in front of you, behind what is that, what is there. If you see a pot, oh, this pot is made of clay, how it is made by a pot maker. This is called further thinking. Looking towards the creation, looking towards the body, looking towards the world and people, a thinking personality, a spiritual seeker will think about how my bones are arranged in a good manner, how this blood is flowing along through the nerves all around the body, how it is possible, by whose order it is working. Thus, from the effect, one should focus their vision towards the cause. This is also Lord Death born from Nachiketas and from us. Our focus should be towards the cause, not towards the effect. From the karya, let we shift our focus towards the cause. That is what he told in the first verse, first line. Urthamulam avakshakaha. From the root, the branches are grown. From the branches, the roots are grown, looking towards down, like the Ashwatha. Because of enjoying this material world, we will accumulate the impressions. From the impressions, again, we are born in this material world to enjoy these material things. Thus, our srishti, our birth and rebirth will continue as a samsara in this material world. To cut off that, dispassion is the main tool. Vairagyam, indifference towards the material world, objectivity towards the material world. We are going to discuss about that fact. Dispassion, knowing the reality about a thing, you don't feel any attraction towards the material world. So, urdhamulam avakshakaha eshaha ashwataha. This banyan tree has the roots from the branches, and from the branches the roots are there, and also from the roots the branches are there. It is sanatanaha. If I translate, literally translate, sanatanaha can be ancient also, but I don't go with ancient. I prefer ever new, something which is ever new, which never become old. Every time, ever fresh it is. Because birth and rebirth will continue for the ordinary people who don't know the reality about the cause of this entire creation. That cause is Tadeva Shukram. What is meant by Shukram? Really speaking, Shukram means whiteness. White represents the purity. Even though in the creation, there are a lot of impurities from the standpoint of material. From the material standpoint, there is purity and impurity. When you take a bath, you are pure. When you wash your face, you are pure. When you clean a vessel, it is pure. From the material standpoint, we can see what is Shuddha and Ashuddha, pure and impure. So, the ultimate cause is not affected by any material limitations. In the material world, there are two sides, pure and impure. But from the standpoint of ultimate reality, there is no pure and impure. It's only duality. In the creation, from the standpoint of material things, from the standpoint of empirical reality, there can be pure and impure. For example, in our tradition, if you are going to temple, you have to take a bath properly. Clean your body. This is the external purity. Bahya Shuddhi. When you go to a temple, don't keep any crooked ideas or ideas to cheat somebody, to take advantage of somebody. If you give up all these ideas in the mind, that's called Antariga Shuddhi, internal purity and external purity. But both are from the realm of duality. If you have a body only, you have to think about purity. And it's only from the empirical standpoint. Suppose you are not a body. This is the reality. Body is an apparent reality, a seeming reality on the real thing, what we call Brahman. Then there is no pure and impure. This is only from the standpoint of empirical reality. So, body is not at all counted from the standpoint of ultimate reality. When you are Brahman, told by the scriptures, why do you think that I am body? It is only a confusion right from the childhood. Scriptures say 1,000 times you are self, which is immortal, formless, which is not subject to any kind of limitations. Why you think again and again, then I am this body? That is what is told Tadeva Shukram. It is ever pure. Shukra. Barely, if I say Shukra means white color. White color represents our purity. From the standpoint of ultimate reality, there is no creation, there is no body, there is no purity, there is no impurity, there is no pollution, there is nothing to do with impurity. Ever pure Brahman. Body is just a superimposition on this Brahman, the self. Tad Brahma. Immediately it is told like this. Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma. Whenever the word Tat comes into picture, Tad means in Sanskrit, you see something and which is not near to your hand. That's called Tad. For example, there is a dog. Then you say, that is a dog. It is not near to your hand, but it's there in front of you. That's called Tad Brahma. Tad. Something beyond the limit, but it's available for your perception. That's called Tad. Brahman is not known to you, but through the scriptures and by the help of traditional teacher, you came to know I am this Brahman. Then we will say Tad Brahma. That thing which you came to know right now, that what you are is Brahman, which is not touched by any senses, but it might be you. You are that. Tad Brahma. Tadeva Amritamuchyate. The word often quoted by the Lord Death, Amritam, immortal, never subject to death and birth, always in one condition. When you are subject to modification, you are subject to destruction. Because modification means first condition gone, second condition arised. The first condition already died, the second condition is already born. This is called modification. Amritam means free from all kinds of modification. So it is not talking about our body. Body is subject to all kind of modification, whether you shave, whether you shave your head, whether your hair is gone loss or you get wrinkles, no problem, because you are not body. If it is not attractive, very good. People will not come in an attraction. Very good. You are a blessed man or a blessed woman. If you have something attractive, then there are troubles. The material world will be behind you, and you should be very aware of that. So, anything is subject to modification in this material world. The one and only thing which is free from all kinds of modification, it is immortal. When you come to know that I am this immortal Brahman, you are free from death and birth. Tadeva Amrita Muchyate. It is indeed, this Brahman is Amritam. Indeed, immortal. Tasmin lokaha shritaha. The entire world, each and every living being, each and everything in this world, it can be tree, it can be fire, an element, it can be anything in the solar system. The entire world is depending on this for its existence and the evidence. Without a thing, there is no superimposition. We know that. In order to have a superimposition, there should be something below that. Without a cause, there is no effect. Without mud, there is no pot. Without clay, there is no pot. Without a fiber, there is no sari or shirt. Fiber is the cause for the cloth. Similarly, entire creation is depending upon what is the base of this entire creation. That base is being told here, Shritaha, in which the base, in which substratum, entire world is being situated. Without that substratum, there will be no world at all. Survey, everything, even our body. Whenever I say world means it includes our body, everything, house, everything. You have to connect everything. Okay. Tadu, indeed, na atyeti kaschana. Nobody can transcend it. Nobody can destroy it. Nobody can overtake it. It will be always in the one condition without having any changes. My consciousness is being told here. The entire explanation is about the listener. The listener is indestructible. The listener is immortal. The listener is the substratum of the entire creation. The listener is the subject. The listener is the substratum of all living beings in the world. It is not subject to any kind of modification. It is not subject to any kind of destruction. Nobody can transcend it. Etat vaitat. Indeed, this is what you, Nachiketas, O Nachiketas, you asked me. Etat vaitat. This is that. So, this verse is very important because this verse is being told by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, first verse. The same resemblance of a fig tree and the Maya Vriksham, this samsara, what is seen as creation is nothing without the base, what we call Brahman, and which might be the Aham, the person, one who knows the reality, the spiritual seeker, who know what is right, what is wrong, what is real, what is unreal. He can discriminate the superimposed and the superimpose, which what is being the base of superimposition. This discrimination will help the person to live in the world without having any pressure towards the material world. This is indeed, O Nachiketas, you asked me the reality about the creation. So it's a verse which is to be completely understood properly. One I will discuss this verse in the coming class. Okay. For the time being, we will continue this class. Om स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् अस्ततो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ